Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you 3 different hip stability exercises that I really like to add into my workout routine. The exercises I'm going to show you are more like isolated movements, so they're not like compound movements like a squat. So the way I like to compare it is if you think about your shoulder and the importance of working on your rotator cuff muscles to keep your shoulder stable, that's kind of what these exercises are doing for your hip. If you have not seen my video on the shoulder stability exercises, I will link that in the description down below. I have showed these 3 exercises on my Instagram once before, but I wanted to make a YouTube video just to go over them in more detail. So for the exercises, for all of them, you're going to need a long band. So it's like the tubey kind of band, this long one here. I will link the one that I have in the description down below, and I just got it off of Amazon. With all that said, we'll get into the exercises. There's a few different ways you can hook up your band. A lot of the bands come with like a little door stopper, so you can always use that and then kind of close the band in your door. So we're only going to need like one side of it. What I like to do, so I'm going to use this gate I have here. I also do this in the basement, so you can, if you have like a basement pole, it kind of like works the same. So I kind of tie this around, so I loop it here, and then I have the handle on. And then I just pull this through, and then that's kind of hooked there. So for these exercises, if you have ankle straps, that works really great. If you don't have ankle straps, you could use this type of hook and wrap it around your ankle and kind of use it as if it was an ankle strap. So the first exercise, you're going to put your ankle strap around your ankle. Okay, so you're going to be on your hands and knees. Make sure you're in good alignment so your hands are directly under your shoulders. Knees under your hips, and your knees are hip width apart, so there's a space between your knees. The band is hooked to the foot that's on the outside, okay, so furthest away from the band. And we're working on internal rotation, so what you're going to do is your knee actually stays in contact with the floor, and you're just kind of moving your foot out to the side, so you're moving your foot away from your body and then back. And what this actually does, it's internally rotating your hip. So you want to keep your neck in good alignment, neutral when you're doing this, but if you want to look down and kind of see your leg, you can kind of see that as you bring your foot out, your kind of hip is rotating inward, and you'll see your leg rotating inward. What you want to make sure you're not doing is you're not torquing your low back or moving your pelvis around. So your pelvis really needs to stay stable, and then the leg moves out to the side. So it's really a small movement. It's not going to go too far. So I know for me personally, my left hip is a little bit more limited than my right in my internal rotation. So this is a motion we really often forget about. We're really never working on internal rotation of our hips. And this is the motion that tends to also get tight, or you start to lose mobility in quicker than other motions. So that's kind of why I like this exercise. And it's not going to be this exercise where you're feeling it really burning or whatever. It's really working on those small little muscles. When you're doing this motion, make sure whatever range that you're going through is pain-free though. So if you kind of get to the end range and you're feeling a pinching or a discomfort, then just back off a little bit. So our next exercise, we're going to be laying on our side. I'm actually going to face away from you because I think you'll be able to see the exercise better. So you have the strap at your ankle again. So the strap is on the top leg. And what you're going to do, I actually got to back up a little bit. So you're holding your leg up, so into abduction. So your leg is straight out, so you're not too high. Okay, so if you kind of look out from your hip, it's one straight line. From here, you're going to hold here, and then you're going to start to pull your leg back just a little, and then come back to center. Okay, so still holding the leg up, extending back, and back to center. Something that a lot of people do that you want to make sure you're not doing is arching through your low back or torquing here as you bring the leg back. So your back stays stable and it's just your hip moving, and then you come back. When you move this way, you won't move as far as you may think you will because we're really isolating the extension only to our hip. Okay, and as you come back, you're trying to squeeze the glute and then back to center, keeping it at the same level the whole time. So I really like that exercise. I think it works your hip extension in a little bit of a different way. You can also, if you are going to the gym, you can use the cable column for these exercises, and a lot of times they'll have an extension of like a little ankle strap, and that works as well. Just be aware that you're probably going to want to be on the lightest setting to start and like see where you go. Like you're not going to go heavy with these exercises at all. Okay, so for the last exercise, you have to get a little bit creative probably. Like I can't fit this band around my thigh, so it's going around like the part right above your knee, so I put two of them together. So basically you're hooking this around your thigh. So the band is tied to the leg that's on the outside, so the furthest away. You're going to lift your leg up to about a 90-degree angle. So you're going to be on one leg, so if you need to hold on to something for balance, feel free. It doesn't need to be exactly 90 degrees. You kind of find what angle works for you. And then from there, you're just bringing the leg out to the side and then back to the center. Keeping your foot facing the floor the whole time, so you're not like twisting the knee around. Lose my balance. Okay, so your foot stays in the same position, so like the bottom of your foot stays facing the floor. And you're trying to think about using your outer hip as you pull out. As you come out to the side, you're squeezing the outer hip and then coming back in. If you feel like you have pinching in your hip when you're trying to hold it here, try to play with the angle and see like what works for you. Like maybe a little bit higher feels better, maybe a little lower feels better. Like I feel like the best, like probably at like 90, maybe a little above. Okay, so this is working the leg that you're pulling the band with and also the leg that you're stabilizing with. And it kind of mimics like the like hip abduction machine at the gym that you're sitting down and you're like pushing your leg out to the side, except in this variation you're like having to stand and like stabilize. For the sets and reps of the exercises, I typically do 3 sets and then I will range between 10 to 15 reps. And personally what I do is I usually will combine, like I'll do like one more isolated exercise on a leg day. So I'll do like 3 more like compound type movements, like a squat, a deadlift, things like that, and then pick like one exercise to isolate, like do more like isolation work. So that's personally just how I like to do it, but find what works for you. With all of these exercises, or really any exercise, nothing should be causing pain. So if it is causing pain, then really just stop the exercise. That's not the right exercise for you. I personally use exercises like this to help work on hip stability from an injury that I have had. I do have a video where I kind of talk about how I actually use heavier weightlifting to really help me improve some hip issues that I was dealing with, and if you guys haven't seen that, I'll link that down below. Otherwise, that's all I have for you guys today. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please hit that subscribe button right below me, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!